La 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 la. There were once two friends in the Congo long ago. They were friends when they were small. They were friends when they could crawl. They were friends when they learned to walk. They were friends when they learned to talk. They shared their laughter and their tears, their hopes and their fears, because they were friends. They even protected each other in the hunt. One day those two friends were hunting in the jungle when one turned to the other and said, "What will we do when we're grown up and we marry? Why, we'll never see each other's faces, for we'll live in different places." It was the custom of that time and of that place for a man to go and live in the household of his bride. "I have an idea," said one to the other. "Oh, I love you as a brother. When we're grown up and are ready to be married, let's marry sisters. Sisters will want to live close to one another, and then we will always be friends." And that's just what those two young men did when they were old enough to find brides. They traveled from their village, and they walked 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 until at long last they came to a village where there were two beautiful sisters. Those two friends courted those two sisters. They brought them food, they brought them flowers, they sang them songs, they told them stories, and soon the sisters agreed to marry. And those two friends built their houses facing one another. There was just enough room between the houses for one to walk. And every night, after they finished their work in the farm fields, they would come home and they would sit in their doorways and they would talk to each other across the path as their wives prepared their dinners. Ah, the air was filled with the sweet smells of cooking and their excellent conversation. Now, in that village there lived a trickster who loved to test things. One day, when he walked by and he saw those two friends talking so nicely to one another, he said to himself, "I could make them fight. I could make them fight. I could make them fight." And that night, that tricky fellow went home and he made himself a funny coat. One half of the coat was completely blue. The other half of the coat was completely red. The next night, when those two friends sat in front of their doorways, talking to each other across the path, that tricky man put on his funny two-colored coat, and he walked directly between them, making certain that they both noticed him go by. La 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 la. And he kept on walking, and those two friends kept on talking. The first one said, "Oh, friend, wasn't that a beautiful blue coat that man was wearing who just walked by?" "Oh, no, friend. The man who just walked by? Oh, no, he was wearing a coat that was red." "You must have blinked," said the other man. I saw what he was wearing. The coat was blue." "What you say is not true. I saw him too. The man's coat was red." "Friend, the man's coat was blue." "The man's coat was red." "Oh, the man's coat was blue. Blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red. They beat each other on the head. Blue, red, blue, red. You are not my friend. Blue, red, blue, red. What I say is true. Red, blue, red." They were rolling around in the dust, kicking and fighting and making a fuss. Their wives came outside to see what all the commotion was about, and they saw the men rolling around in the dust, fighting with each other, and they cried out, What are you doing? You were friends when you were small. You were friends when you could crawl. You were friends when you learned to walk. You were friends when you learned to talk. Why are you fighting? Stop!" But they wouldn't stop. Blue, red, what I say is true. Red, blue, red. In the middle of all the fuss, the tricky man came back. But this time he walked straight toward them so they could see his whole coat. La 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 la. When those two friends saw what he was wearing, they were outraged. They said, "You tricked us. You made us fight. You started a war between us." "Don't blame me," said the tricky man. "I didn't make you fight. You're both wrong, and you're both right. What each of you said is completely true. You're fighting because you only looked at my coat from your own point of view." La 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 la. When Tiger jumped on Fox, Fox cried out, "How dare you attack King of the Forest?" Tiger was astonished at these words and said, "Fox, you are not King of the Forest." "Indeed I am," said Fox. "If you don't believe me, come, I will show you." And Fox trotted into the forest with Tiger at his heels. They came upon a small herd of deer, and when the deer saw the Tiger behind Fox, they fled in every direction. "See," said the Fox, "they flee at the very sight of me." They continued and came upon a group of monkeys. When the monkeys saw Tiger behind Fox, they jumped and fled in every direction too. "See," said Fox, "I am the king. They all fear me, and they run in every direction as soon as I approach." "I'm surprised," said the Tiger, "but I've seen it with my own eyes. What you say must be so." And with great ceremony, the Tiger bowed and let the clever Fox go. Under the waves at the bottom of the sea, a little crab no different than any other hurried along in a zigzag walk, following after her mother. The mama crab stopped, turned around and said, "Daughter, why are you walking side to side in that ridiculous zigzag walk of yours? Come forward, walk straight like all the other creatures do." "But, Mama," squeaked the little crab, "I learned to walk from you." And with that the little crab, no different than any other, zigzagged away after her mother. I zigzag walk and I zigzag talk, I zigzag live and I zigzag give. If you want to see something different from me, change the example I see. I watch how you walk and I watch how you live. I watch what you take and I watch what you give. Everything I know and everything I do, I learned by watching you. And with that the little crab, no different than any other, zigzag you want to see something different from me, look at what I learn at your knee. Look at what I learn at your knee. There once was a man with quarrelsome children. Even on his dying day they bickered. My last wish, he said, is for you to bring me a bundle of sticks. When this was done, he gave each child one and said, take your solitary twig in hand and break it. Crack, crack went the dry old wood as each child broke their solitary twig. Now, he said, bind them together, tie them, you'll see how much stronger your brittle twig can be. Well, the old man passed away, and his children, they never forgot that day, though they each lived separate, distant lives, each sister, each brother. In times of trouble they bonded together like a bundle of sticks, giving strength to one another. There was once a king who owned a diamond, clear and pure. But alas, in time, the diamond became scratched. It couldn't be polished. It couldn't be patched. None of the royal gem cutters could hide or repair the scratch on the diamond or the king's despair. Soon the king was resigned to live with his damaged gem. Finally, one day, from afar, a peasant jeweler came and undertook to transform the scratch with a bold new look. He simply carved the ugly gash into a stem, and with a clearly new direction, the jeweler carved a rosebud around the imperfection. Now, the king delighted to see what the transformed flaw had come to be.